I've had these since, I don't know how old I was when
Well,
she
they're
gave
at
them
least
to me.
48 years old. But
She died
probably-
when I was 6, but she gave them to me before she died.
So
See,
wait,
here's the name that's on them.
Who are these? Who are these from? Your
My grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Opal, it was Opal Beeman.
And she gave them to you when you were 6?
Or before. I'm not sure how old I was, but she died when I was only 6, so
Okay.
she definitely gave them to
See,
me
the edges
before
are
that.
getting...
But it was like the one thing that I had that she
You know
gave
what?
me.
The road show is coming to Myrtle Beach.
The
Mall.
Antique Roadshow?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't know
coming
what
to
this is.
The convention center.
I don't know if anyone watching would understand what this is. Did you say that you thought they were Oscar Mayer?
It seems like because they used to have the label on the outside where it came from, and it seems like it might have been something that was ordered, like something with Oscar Mayer. And I don't know why I remember that or think that. But
Well,
the label.
actually, I looked that up, and there are things, but I never found these pictures.
Huh.
So this would have been from 60, the early 60s. Between 60 and 60, I'd say probably between 62 to 66.
Did you all see them? Okay, you saw them all, right?
Yeah.
There's only 3 of them.
Yeah.
They're really just sad clown posters. Or, well, maybe not all sad.
Well,
And
see,
they have-
Norman Rockwell used to make, you know what I mean?
But
He
they
did
say
those kind
Michelle on there.
and that was the name that I looked up, and there was a lot of these things like this. So,
I mean, with a little bit of internet sleuthing, we could probably find it. You know what may actually, how we may actually be able to find these? A reverse image search. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you can actually take pictures of something and then put that into Google, and it'll find identical images.
really?
So that may be a way we could figure out where these are
I
from.
hate that the edges are getting like that, but that's just...
But they're old. They're really,
Yeah.
really old. So I don't know what else you'd expect, you know? They're actually pretty cool pieces. I know some people have a clown phobia, but
If they were in a frame, you wouldn't be able to see that, I guess.
yeah. Anyway, this evening we came over to my parents' house. We're about to have some dessert, and did you just find those? You had
No, I cleaned out a closet thing in there today, and they were in there along with this. Did you show
Yeah,
this?
no, I haven't shown that. This is what I was excited to share because this was interesting. It's what's it called? These collages.
Yeah, it was for a scrapbook thing.
Scrapbook. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. It's a scrapbook thing, and my mom never did scrapbooking, but you had
I
been
went to a
invited
party.
to a party where they did this, and this was whenever I was 8. I turned 8. I had a bowling party, and Mom took some of the pictures and turned it into a collage. It's interesting, I was at a bowling party, but I had a basketball-themed cake that I don't remember, have no recollection of whatsoever.
That's when you really was into basketball and wanted your room done in basketballs and things like
Which
that.
I think is really weird because I don't remember doing a whole lot with basketball. I know that I had a basketball goal in the driveway. I remember playing a little bit with that.
You had, your bedroom was done with basketballs.
Yeah, I know that. I've seen.
You had a coat
I've seen pictures of that.
with some, in the jeans or something on it. Yeah, you used to really, you used to be very interested in it.
Well, I remember watching it a lot with Dad. We watched it on TV. I count myself fortunate because I remember whenever I was watching basketball when I was a kid, Jordan was still playing. And I think that's really cool, is because Jordan's regarded as one of the best players. And whenever I was a kid watching basketball, we watched and Jordan played, and I watched Jordan play whenever I was a kid. But
And you like Shaq.
yeah,
One of your birthday parties, we had plates that had that on it. So
and actually, I think I have some pictures on the Facebook fan page of some childhood photos, and they have. It shows like my basketball themed room and things like that. So I did like basketball. It's weird because it's such
and
such
you
a
even
foreign.
played. You played.
Yeah,
with the rec
At the
center.
recreation center. Yeah, I played for a year. Didn't work out so well, but yeah. But then I quickly became interested in computers. I was always interested in video games. That never changed. But for a while, I did enjoy basketball. But I also think it was probably a subconscious pressure almost, because when you're tall, everyone talks about it. You're tall, everyone's like, oh, you're going to play basketball. And I think in the mind of a young person, that kind of becomes ingrained in your head, like, I will play basketball. Like, I'm tall. That's what I'm supposed to do. So.
She also did karate too.
Yeah.
You're a brown belt in karate.
Yeah, from a long time ago.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
did gymnastics.
I was fairly well-rounded.
Well, I tried to keep you, because you did like to spend so much time playing video games where you were inside being very, not moving a lot. That's the reason that I wanted to make sure you were well-rounded. That's why I had you doing outside activities. I thought you needed the balance.
Yeah, I actually remember I would get home from school, and if I wanted to play video games or something, you'd always say, go out and ride your bike. Go do something outside. You can play video games in the evening. Go outside and play. So that's what I did.
I tried to keep you balanced.
I think you did good. I think you did good. I'm fairly balanced right now. It's when it gets a little warmer, I'll be riding my bike more often. It was bad because I was getting into the habit of riding my bike in the mornings and stuff, and then it got really cold, and I was like, I don't want to do it right now, but I'll get back into it. Anyway, I wanted to show this off. I didn't know that you were going to find those posters, but it was cool that we got to see those too. So, just really old stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I think this is kind of an interesting vlog. Vlogs are always weird and different. I mean, you don't know if they're going to be a topic vlog or something about, a bunch of random stuff like today was, but I think it's fun. You can use this as, I don't know, a gateway to talk about whatever you'd like. You can talk about old birthdays or scrapbooking, or maybe what the heck those clown posters are. I'm probably going to try and take a picture, see if I can do a reverse image search and figure out what they are myself, but if you guys know, feel free to let me know. Very quickly before the vlog ends, I wanted to add this little piece of information in so you guys weren't trying to help us find these information about these clowns, because we actually found out information about the clowns, and it's pretty interesting, so I thought I would share. We did a reverse image search, and we found a Etsy shop, and the Etsy shop had a little bit more information about it, and we used that to find a little bit more information, etc., etc., etc. I mean, all over the course of a few minutes, it was pretty easy to find, but we wound up on the Chicago Tribune website, and they have scanned in all of their previous newspapers. This one is from July 11th, 1965, so if you're interested in reading about this, you can look up July 11th, 1965, Chicago Tribune. It's on page 114, and it actually talks about the artist. And what was interesting is that whenever I was looking for information about the artist, everything I had found that had suggested that Michelle was actually a man. And that's not true. Michelle's actually a woman. And there's an article called Just Send In 3 Labels and it talks about how this woman, I believe her name is Michelle Press, was doing paintings, and her husband was doing like a children's book or something. And he was doing the children's book and needed an illustration, and she decided to paint an illustration. Some other people saw it and was really impressed with it, and she got hired to do premiums for companies like Frito-lay and some other ones. So what happened was, you can actually see, this is one of the things that we showed you guys earlier, what happened was Frito-lay actually had like a system or whatever where I guess people would take what would be similar to UPCs from the products and mail them into the company to get cool stuff. And one of the things that people could get were these printings, the printings of these paintings. So this woman, Michelle, did these paintings, back in 1965, and they made a bunch of them. And then when people would eat Frito-lay products, they would send in the UPCs or something like that. And then they would get things called premiums, which were prizes, essentially. And that was really interesting. Like, I found out a lot more information today than I thought I was going to know, and I just thought it was really cool. So that mystery has been solved, and in the process we learned a lot of interesting stuff, and I thought it was really cool. Okay, now we're done. See you tomorrow. In these articles, people actually got to play that, and they said it did work and look as good as it looked in that video, which is exciting. That's really exciting. In fact, you know you're shooting me, right? Like, you're shooting me right in the back.
Helping.
You're not helping if you're shooting me in the back.
Helping.
Why don't you move?
How dare you?
So you're not shooting me.